Good morning, everyone. Michelle Lee here. I've got the beautiful forest behind me. And you know, I was looking through the filters this morning and I had a great laugh finding this one. I was reminded of a time a couple of years ago. I was in a leadership program and we were on Zoom because it was 2020. And so our leadership training didn't get to be in person. So we went through this process where we were in a private Zoom room with me and one other person. And we were supposed to just spiel out first impressions of the person. And he was sharing with me his first impressions of me, and it was a very awkward moment. And what I discovered about him is that the discomfort, which it was a very uncomfortable situation because we'd never met each other and we're supposed to just spiel out first impressions of each other, just share whatever judgments were coming to mind. And he shared with me that my nose was the most prominent thing on my face. And he went on to say, like, my nose was so big and how he admired how I didn't even try. Hello, Helena, so happy to have you here. He just so admired how I didn't even try to diminish my nose, that it was the most prominent part of my face. And I thought that was funny because I was like, how does he know I didn't try to diminish my nose? I may have spent an hour that morning diminishing my nose, and what he still saw as huge was actually diminished. So I was playing with the filters this morning and I was like, wow, that really diminishes my nose. So why do we look for filters? To smooth the lines, and you can see that this filter shows my lines around my mouth. Not because I ever smoked, but because I'm a lover, not a smoker. I just do a lot of kissing. But anyway, I wanted to jump in here and tell you a little bit about what's coming up next week. And so important to not take ourselves so seriously. I remember seeing other professional people using these funny filters to share their message and just coming from so much internal judgment. Like, they should be more professional than that. Like they should be projecting an image. And I'll share with you that the reason why I can be here today with this silly ass filter is because of the shadow integration work that I have been doing for quite some time now. And it is the most healing, the most self-identifying, know thyself, right? And I remember that if I saw somebody doing this, I would be in total judgment. And here's the truth, like, if we take ourselves too seriously, then there's a lot of suffering that comes with taking ourselves way too seriously. And how we judge others, the limitations we put on others. You know, I'm imagining, I shared earlier this week that I'm going gray. I'm allowing my gray to grow out. And several years ago, I watched a woman do the same thing over Facebook and really share her gray journey and how much fear that brought up in me. And the stories behind that, right? I had judgment for her, I had judgment for myself because I thought it really diminished my own youth and my own value. And these are all just shadows, you know, the limitations that you notice you put on others, like, oh, they shouldn't do that, they shouldn't be saying that, or they shouldn't be allowing themselves to be seen that way. They're the limits we put on ourselves. And when we limit ourselves, when we limit others, we don't get to be the full expression of our potential, of our power. And so I thought I'd get on here and hopefully I have made you laugh. Hopefully I have diminished my nose a little bit. I don't care about my nose. I love my nose and I adore this funness. So I wanted to share with you next week, starting on Tuesday, July 11th, July 12th, and July 13th from 11 a.m. till noon, 12:15, 12:30, I will be doing a free training called Prelude to Making Light of Your Shadow. Well, where I will be guiding you deeply, not just a training, but I'm going to be doing some coaching with you also. Some great activities. So it's an interactive training to really start identifying and understanding what your shadow is. Because so many people are confused that the shadow is an evil side of yourself. And bottom line is, there is no evil. There's no evil. And when you begin to really wrap your mind around this, that gives you the ability to see yourself, to see your true power, and to access all of that power. Now, the shadow is definitely parts of yourself that you've hidden from you, because we have been taught that there is good and evil, and we should only be good. So when you truly understand and have the process of uncovering these parts of yourselves, these shadow parts, that through shame and guilt you've hidden away from yourself and the world, when you access them and when you get them on your side and you're on their side, then you actually access your full power, your full power. And so my training next week is 100% free. You simply need to register in the link that I'm going to put in the comments before. Just register. If you can't be live, you will definitely be getting the recordings as well. But I highly recommend that you do whatever you can to be live. It's going to be well worth your time. I'm going to take you through exercises and awarenesses so you can identify a part of your shadow and start to integrate into it so you can access its power, so that you can actually manifest what you want consciously. The power of the shadow is that the shadow kind of loves the don't like experiences. And as long as you resist those don't like experiences, your shadow keeps creating them. It just keeps creating them. And so when you integrate that shadow, you harness the power of that shadow that is so wonderfully creating the don't like experiences, so that then you can create the I do like these experiences. So I hope to see you next week. Have an amazing day, and remember not to take yourself too seriously. Mwah. Bye. Bye, and much love to you all.